to Decorating Dilemmas Part 2. Last video, Part 1, I showed you how I took a thrifted $6 wall shelf and turned it into something that looked like a very expensive antique. If you didn't catch that video, be sure and go back and watch so you can see what a little bit of paint and rub and buff can do. If this is your first time here, I'm Tammy and welcome to Old Orchard Farmhouse. And if you're returning, I thank you so much for coming back to visit again. I have noticed that I have a lot of new subscribers, so I want to thank you all that have subscribed to my channel. I can't tell you, as a new YouTube channel, how exciting it is to go in and look at my analytics and see those numbers grow. So I just wanted to let you know, I so much appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you'll consider doing so. And be sure and give this a thumbs up if you like the video. As an interior designer, if I could give you any advice, I would say to do a little bit of preliminary work before you start decorating in your home. I'm going to give you 4 questions that you should answer before you start doing any design. And I'm surprised how much these answers will help you and guide you throughout your design. The first question you want to ask yourself is, what design style do I want? That was an easy question for me because I knew that I wanted a French cottage look for my dining room. The second question is, how do we use the space? You need to know how you use the space so you can have a good foundation to set that space up so it's going to function well, be easy to live in. The third question you want to ask yourself is, what don't I like about the room now? What is not working in my space? For me, that was another easy one. When you walk into my house, you walk right into the dining room, and I just felt like it was never welcoming. And the fourth question that you should ask yourself is, how do I want the room to feel? Again, that was easy for me because it is the entry to the house and in the dining room. I knew I wanted it to feel welcoming and I wanted to feel very cozy. So starting at my door, I wanted to give the illusion of having a little foyer area. As I know, a rug will anchor a space better than anything. I got the perfect size rug that I already had and pulled it over to that area. I painted my door. I have a little bookshelf that I had in my stash. I got it out, I painted it white, and I put some beadboard on the back. And then years ago, I bought a beautiful pedestal at an antique shop, and then recently I thrifted a gorgeous vase and I put that on top and just stuck some flowers in it for now until I get ready to do a fall arrangement. Amazing how it transformed that space and really did give the illusion of having a foyer when you walk in. First coat. So on my buffet behind me, I really did have a hard time with this because before I had a silver tea set on it and I tried to make it look very formal and it just didn't work in this house. There's a big dilemma that I had to overcome. Max, my husband, has a clock that he insists stay on this buffet and it just doesn't look good there, in my opinion. So I had to come up with a clever solution that he would be happy with and something that I also would be happy with, that I could live with at least. So let me show you how I went about styling the buffet. But before I do, I want to tell you a little bit about when you do a vignette and you're styling something, you want to make sure to vary your heights and work with different textures and color scheme just to pull a nice cohesive look together. And it will also add a lot more interest and be a lot more eye-pleasing. It is basically used as a charging station. It's where we charge our phones. Also, my husband lays his mail to go out in the morning here on the buffet, and in this box he will tuck things. So what I did to dress this little box up is I just put a couple old blue books in there that I found while I was out thrifting. To keep that glue going, I found this little ticking box at a thrift store. It has 3 drawers in it, so I'm able to keep smaller cords that go to different charging devices. Over here, I put a stack of old books and a plant because behind these books, it hides larger cords and charging paraphernalia that didn't fit in the drawers. And they're still there, but they're hidden away. And over here, I have a row of books. Behind that is a clock and thermometer. The only time my husband really looks at that is in the morning when he's having his breakfast to check the time and the temperature. So when he's sitting at the table, he can still see that, but when you're looking straight on, you do not see it. In spite of it not being formal, I love the look. Okay, so quite a few years ago, I bought this electric fireplace, and as I told you, I tend to do things a little bit formal. I brought this in and I envisioned this beautiful fireplace and styled just beautifully, and then my husband started putting his stuff on it. So what I did is, he has this compass that he actually got at an antique store when we were at the beach. It is beautiful. You look in, it's a compass. I don't know if you can see that. And then this is a Wright brother pocket watch. He collects anything that has to do with the Wright brothers as well. So what I did is I stacked these boxes together. Put those there. Put a candlestick side of it. And once again, I'm big on draping and flagging. And I wrapped the greenery around the candlestick. And then my friend made this beautiful oyster shell. I think she decoupaged that and painted it gold, and I just thought that was so pretty. And then I thought I would tuck that in there. And then, one thing I did do too, and then I finished that off setting a picture on top. And then I flanked each end with the candlesticks. This was another DIY that I did. I found this in a thrift shop and it just had fruit on it. And I put rub and buff because, again, it was very, just like my shelf was, it was very gaudy gold. So I did tone that down with rub and buff. And then the clock back here, actually that masked an old television cord that comes from the ceiling that I've never been able to get that out of there. So at least by having that there, that mask that, and you can't see it as much. But I think it's styled much better now than just things laying around all over the place like he had it before. And again, he's happy and I'm happy. So on top of the China hutch is a ship captain that my husband bought in an antique store at the beach a few years ago. And he just had it sitting on the fireplace. So I brought it over and I put a couple baskets with it. And inside the taller basket, I put, I'm not sure what they are. I think maybe okra, but I'm not positive. It just reminded me of some sea growing along the beachy areas. So I put that in the tall basket, and then the smaller basket I turned upside down and put a shell in it. And over here he has a clock. I can't remember what type of cloth that is. It's a very unique cloth, but you'll notice I tied the blues together with that. And then I have a seaside picture that is very old hanging in the back on the gallery wall that I put above the hutch. And baskets make great storage when you live in an old house and you don't have a lot of storage. So I'm sure if you watch my house tour, you notice that I do have quite a few baskets. And here are just a couple trunks that I have put stuff in to get it up off the floor and out of the way. So now it is pretty little baskets. And on top of the basket for a hard surface, I did put my silver chest. You have some of the same decorating dilemmas that I do. I hope I was able to give you some inspiration today to solve your own decorating dilemmas in your house. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.